Hello everyone, this is Pamela Yao, and today I'm going to be talking about how Adam was created a female. Okay, I found some scriptures in the Bible, really mind-blowing, so let's get started here. If you look in Genesis chapter 1, I'm going to kind of do an overview or a rough draft of what I'm talking about, and then if you guys want to do some further research, you can read it on your own. Hold on a second. Okay, so here we go. Okay, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Okay, so now if you look in the whole chapter 1 in Genesis, read the whole thing, it talks about how he created everything. Okay, now if you go on to verse 3, verse 6, verse 8, and so on, you'll see that God said, or God called. Okay, God said. Okay, so if you look in the whole chapter 1 of Genesis, God has created. Okay, now let's go towards the end of chapter 1, verse 26. God said, okay, another thing, he said, okay, now remember, nothing was actually formed yet, okay, he hasn't actually formed anything yet, but he's creating these things, okay, so, God said, okay, Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and so on, and then, and then if you go down to verse 27, okay, first of all, in verse 26, when he says, let us make man in our image, okay, you guys are just going to have to figure that one out on your own. Okay, obviously, there's more than one, okay. I'm not saying there's more than one God. There's one God, okay. But his image is plural. Okay, his image is plural. Okay, so let's continue with this. Okay, if you look in verse 27, I don't want to go too deep because then I just start getting confused and trying to put my own 2 cents in there, and I want to stick to this. I want to stick to this, what it says, okay? So let's go to verse 27. So God created man. Okay, remember, he's creating man. God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Okay, created who? Adam, man, right? Okay. In his own image, in the image of God, God created he. Male and female created he them. Okay? He is saying that he created Adam, a male and a female, in one package, okay? Plainly says, male and female created he who? Adam. Them who? Male and female. Do you not get it? It says it right there. He created Adam, male and female. Okay? Okay, and then you need to finish reading it, okay? Because I can't figure everything out. I'm not going to try to figure anything out. God's going to show me what he wants to show me, okay? And I'm not going to rack my brain trying to figure all this out. Okay, so, okay. Now, gotta stick to this, okay? If you go to chapter 2, okay, see in chapter 1, let's do it again. In chapter 1, God created, he said, you know, let's form the waters, let's form this, let's form that, you know. Read it yourself. Let's, or not form, you know, create. He said, let's create. Okay, now we're going to go to chapter 2. And we're going to go to verse 5. Okay, and this is what God is saying. It said, okay, well, let's start verse 4. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created. Okay, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. Okay, he's saying that it was all there, but it was not formed yet. Nothing was formed yet. Okay, so then you go down to chapter 2, verse 7, and now God is gonna form a man here in verse 7. He says that he formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Okay, and then if you read on, which I'm not going to do, but it says that he put, in verse 8, God had planted a garden, and there he put the man who he had formed him now. Okay, chapter 1, he created him. Chapter 2, he's formed him. Chapter 1, he's created him, male and female. Chapter 2, he's formed him now. He's looking like a man, and he's a male and a female. Okay, now, and then if you continue on in chapter 2, you can see where now he's telling the man, and you got to remember now, she wasn't here. Okay, she was created, but she wasn't physically here yet. But she was created. Okay, she was created. She was a part of Adam. Okay. Let me see. So in verse 17, he's telling Adam, of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. Okay, and then he goes on to say, it's not good that he's alone. He's going to make him a helpmeet, so he does that. And if you go down to verse 21, it said, he took one of Adam's ribs, and closed up the flesh, okay, and the rib which God had taken from Adam. Okay, he had taken the rib. Okay, and the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman. So that's pretty heavy. So in other words, men, he took a rib and he formed a woman that is actually, and he goes on to say here, if you go down to verse 23, verse 23, and Adam said, this is now bone of my bones, okay, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. So she was taken out of man. Okay? She was taken out of man. He was created. He was created in the form of a man, a male and a female. Okay? And then God took her, okay, a part of him, okay, and so, yeah, it's just mind-blowing. So, it's mind-blowing. So anyway, what that is telling us is this, that there is a woman, okay, for every man that is created and formed, there is a woman that belongs to you, okay? And somewhere also in the New Testament, I remember Jesus talking to someone and saying, you know, do you not take care of your own, you know, he's talking to a man and he's saying, you know, you take care of your own flesh, you take care of your own self, you know. And he's talking about a man taking care of his wife, but, you know, right now I don't want to go into any of that. I don't want to trip on that. But anyway, this is what I want to leave you here. Now, if we would have known this way back then, or hadn't lost sight of that, or whatever happened there, the curse came upon man. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Okay, this is what I want to leave you with. If you look at John, because I know as a man, you're going to think about it. God's going to talk to you. Man to man. Yeah, he is. Okay, and we're going to look at John 3:16. Okay. First I want to go to John chapter 3 verse 17. Okay. God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. Okay. So God is not condemning the world, okay? He's not condemning you, and he's not judging you. He's not, what I mean is, I don't want to say judging you. That's the wrong word. He did not come here to condemn you, okay? But he came here to tell you the truth, okay? And this is the truth, okay? And he hasn't come to condemn you. Okay. So he's gonna speak. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how to say it, you know? Can't say anything. The word speaks for itself, okay? So that's all I can say. Okay? Love y'all. And remember, God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. Okay? So, until next time.